On the topic of triumph and tragedy in history,
Nick Alexander and Will Sipple present
a story about
A King.
a war.
An entreaty.
This is the story of Haile Selassie I, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, King of Kings of Ethiopia. On July 23rd, a boy was born by the name of Tafari Makonnen. Later on in life, this boy would be better known as Haile Selassie. Born in Harar as royalty in Ethiopia, this young man grew into a king.
1930. Tafari Makonnen was crowned as emperor. The name he was given upon receiving this position was Haile Selassie. For a while after he was crowned, there was peace in Ethiopia. The Italian-Ethiopian Treaty was devised in 1928 because of earlier problems between Italy and Ethiopia. The treaty showed the true boundaries for Ethiopia. However, in October of 1931, the treaty was broken by Italy.
100,000 Italian soldiers attacked the city of Adwa on October 3, 1935. In 3 days, they captured the city and moved to the holy city of Axum. They had control of it by October 15, 1935.
4 days after the capture of these two main cities, Italy was named the aggressor by the League of Nations. After the League made the decision, no action was taken to help Ethiopia.
Despite the 1925 Geneva Protocol, Italy dropped between 300 to 500 tons of mustard gas onto the capital city, Addis Ababa, and the surrounding villages.
To make sure the Ethiopian people gave back as little resistance as possible, the Italians started bombing the Red Cross. They destroyed thousands of ambulances and hospitals and ruined many lives.
Haile Selassie was forced into exile by the Italian government. When he left, the people of Ethiopia felt that he had given up on him, but rather he took a stand and he went to Geneva.
June 30th, 1936, the lives of the Ethiopian people changed forever. Haile Selassie I went to the League of Nations and made a speech trying to argue his case to the justices of the League by trying to plead mercy for his country.
እኔ ቀዳማዊ ኃይለ ሥላሴ የኢትዮጵያ ንጉሠ ነገሥት በዛሬው ዕለት እዚህ የተገኘሁት ለኢትዮጵያ ሕዝብ የሚገባውን ትክክለኛ ፍርድና እርዳታ ከዚህ በፊት ቃል ተገብቶለት ስለነበርና እሱን ቃል ለመጠየቅ ነው። ይህ ቃል የተገባለት ከ8 ወር በፊት የኢንተርናሽናል ሕጎችን በመጣስ የተወረረበትን ሕዝብ 52 ሀገሮች በማውደማቸው። ይህ ቃል የተገባላቸው ሁኔታ የኢትዮጵያን ሕዝብ የዓለም ተወካዮች ዛሬ እዚህ ጄኔቫ የተገኘሁት የኢትዮጵያ ሕዝብ የደረሰበትን ድብደባና የአንድ ሀገር መሪ ያለበትን ትልቅ ኃላፊነት ለመናገር ነው እና ምን አይነት መልስ ለህዝቤ እንደወስድ ተነግሩኛላችሁ።
During the period Haile was away, he lived in the United Kingdom and Israel.
During his time in exile, his family was murdered by the Italians. Some of his family that died consisted of
2 of his son-in-laws were executed by the Italians.
his daughter and all her children were taken to jail. They all died in prison.
During the time that Italy ruled Ethiopia, there were many uprisings. One of these rebellions ended up with 30,000 Ethiopians massacred.
2 Ethiopian rebels threw grenades into a crowd of Italian leaders that were giving a speech in the capital city of Addis Ababa.
The Italian leaders survived, however they hanged Abraha Dibak and Mogus Askadam, the men that had made an attempt on their lives.
Throughout the next week, the Italian guard and police went door to door executing most of the educated population. That week, over 30,000 Ethiopian nationalists died as a result of the Italian aggression.
In honor of the people that died, the emperor built a monument.
Support finally came to the Ethiopians in 1941. The United Kingdom defeated the Italians, who left that year.
When the emperor came home to his country, he knew it was in a desperate state of need. In reaction, he enforced the old constitution. He also brought back the Ethiopian church.
Many of the emperor's people were still living in oppression. Selassie wanted his country to be free and for his people to be happy.
For a while in Ethiopia, there was peace again. The people were happy, crops were growing, the emperor had fulfilled all the promises he had made. Haile Selassie had been a man of his word.
The famine of 1958 disrupted the peace that Selassie had worked so hard to gain. The famine was killing the Ethiopian people, while Selassie was out of his country and away from them.
The Ethiopian people were out of food, water, and other supplies. There was nobody else to blame other than the emperor. The emperor still had not been notified of the famine, and death was sweeping his country.
While Selassie was away visiting the rest of the world's leaders, his people were begging the government for aid.
In an attempt to overthrow the emperor and rally support against him, the military junta did not mention the famine when they came into contact with the emperor.
As a result of these acts, the emperor went from being the most loved man in all of Ethiopia to being the center of most of the country's hatred.
September 12, 1974, Haile Selassie was removed from office. He was removed by a group of low-ranking military officials by the name of Derg.
These were the men responsible for Haile Selassie leaving office in the civil unrest that followed.
Haile Selassie died under questionable circumstances on August 28, 1975. Some believe that he was suffocated in his sleep.
He was then buried under a toilet in the imperial office.
In 1992, the body was discovered by imperial soldiers. Selassie was finally given a proper burial 25 years after his death.